So, welcome everybody to my backyard. I am Nature Jodi, and you are in for a treat tonight. In the summer, we have a summer reading program at the local libraries, and this year it's Tales of Tales. So I thought it would be a great idea to have a campfire at a campground or in your backyard to talk about tales around the campfire. Now, tales, Tales, of tales, Tails, is what you're going to hear about this evening. So I'm going to tell you a few stories. And you're welcome to answer questions and ask questions and tell me what you think about these stories, whether they're true or not. First of all, you have your little campfire here, and I have my Tales, Tails, right here for Tales of Tales. So I know you hear animal programs and animal stories all the time wherever you go, but a lot of them start from legends, from Indian tribes or native peoples. They have several different stories that they pass down from generation to generation that explains nature and animals in the world. So our first story, we're going to be talking about this animal right here. Does anybody know what this is? Go ahead, shout it out if you know what it is.
Possum.
A possum, that's right, opossum. We do have these in Georgia, and this is what it looks like. Most of the time, we see them as roadkill on the road. But possums are really great little animals. They've got the most teeth of all the mammals in Georgia. Now, look at his tail. How does it look? Kind of rough and ugly, right? Well, let me tell you how he ended up with this tail. Because a long time ago, possums had very beautiful tails. Their tails were very fluffy, like a foxtail. If you've seen a foxtail, you know they are beautiful animals with beautiful tails. The opossum had a tail just like that. Well, one day, the possum was walking around in the forest, and he was showing off his beautiful tail. He was saying, "Look at my lovely tail. It's so fluffy. It's so beautiful. I want everybody to see it and everybody to know I'm the best looking animal out there." So he did this for days and days. He would go through and tell everybody, "My tail is the most beautiful. No other animal has a tail like mine." Well, the animals got tired of that, as you know. They don't like to hear a lot of bragging and a lot of pride. So they decided to teach the possum a lesson. So they said, "Hey, possum, why don't you come to a party that we're going to make just for you so you can show off your beautiful tail to everybody?" And the possum said, "Great, I'll be there." So a few animals were sent to the possum to help him get ready. So there was a deer that combed his hair with the deer's antlers. He combed the possum's fur and hair to make him look beautiful. And then there was a squirrel that found some ribbon and some flowers out in nature, and he decided to wrap the possum's tail up real nice. So he wrapped the possum's tail in a nice bow, and it looked beautiful, and the possum was ready for the party. Well, that party, they were going to have a campfire too, just like we're having here. And all the animals gathered, and of course the possum said, "Hey everybody, look at my tail. This party's for me. This tail is to be shown off. It's very beautiful." And he would walk around, swishing that beautiful tail. And then the animals said, "Oh yeah, possum, it's time to dance. Can you dance and show off your tail?" And the possum said, "Sure, I'll dance and show off my tail." So all the animals started dancing, and the possum started dancing, and they were getting so excited and dancing around, and the possum kept saying, "My tail's so beautiful. My tail's more beautiful than any other animals in this whole wide world. It's so beautiful. So, so beautiful." And all the animals kept dancing closer and closer to him, and they started pushing the possum closer and closer to the fire. And suddenly, the possum was in the fire. His tail landed in the fire. And he said, oh, 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 oh. And he jumped out really, really fast. But his tail was burning. And to stop it from burning, all the animals were stomping on it, and the possum was stomping on it and trying to puff out his tail. Well, finally, when it all was done, what kind of tail do you think the possum had? This very ugly bare tail. It was no longer beautiful. The possum was so upset about that he fell over and played dead. And that's how the possum ended up with the ugly tail. What do you think of that tale? You think it's true?
Yeah.
You think it's true?
Yeah. Probably not. We usually be talking animals inside.
Yes. The possum does have a little interesting tail. Now, would you like to hear another story about a tail? A tale of a tail. Do you know what this animal is?
Raccoon.
Yay.
Raccoon.
Yeah, no.
Why do you know it's a raccoon?
The tail has stripes on it.
The striped tail, and what about his little mask he has?
Like a black evil mask.
Yep. He has a mask, and he has a tail that's striped, which is really neat. Now, would you like to hear a story about how the raccoon got this tail?
Yeah.
Like this? Well, the raccoon, of course you know, is a very, very smart animal. The raccoon can unlock locks, open gates, pick up trash can lids. Very, very smart. Their little hands are like our little hands, so they can feel and pick up all kinds of stuff. But the raccoon is also very clever. And he lived in the forest too. Actually, he might have been friends with the possum. So he decided he was going to tell everybody about himself. So he went walking around the forest and said, hey, I'm the smartest animal around here. Yep, I'm the smartest animal around here. I can unlock this, I can unlock that. You want to try it? So all these animals tried to trick him by locking up things and moving things around to where the raccoon couldn't get in, but guess what? The raccoon got in every single time. Every single time. So he was very smart indeed. And he started to get a little proud of himself too, saying, I am extremely smart. There's no other smarter animal than me. Does that sound kind of like the possum, who was saying there was no other beautiful animal like me? Yes, it is. So the raccoon, as he kept saying that over and over again, wouldn't you think the animals would be tired of him saying he's so clever and he's so smart? Yes, he would. They would. So they decided to teach the raccoon a lesson too. So they said, this raccoon is talking about how clever he is. But there's other clever animals. Isn't the fox clever? Isn't the coyote clever? Isn't the birds clever? It's not just the raccoon. But the raccoon kept saying he was the only clever one out of all the animals. So they decided to give him a party too and teach him a lesson. So they asked the raccoon, can you come to this party? We're going to have this party and you can tell us about how clever you are and how tricky you can be. And they said, sure, we can do that. So the raccoon got all ready. The same thing, kind of like the possum. They had animals come over and groom him. The deer combed his nice, beautiful hair. And the opossum was there too, and the little squirrel was there, and the birds were there, and they were all helping him. And the fox said, hey raccoon, I need to put a ribbon around your tail. I need to make it look nice, so I'm going to wrap this ribbon around your tail. So he wrapped the ribbon really tight around the raccoon's tail. And the raccoon looked at it and said, hey, that looks great. I love that. So he said, I look fantastic for this party. So once again, that night, they had a little campfire. And they had a little party with a little dance. And the raccoon was the star of the show. He was standing up there talking about how clever he was and how smart he was and everything. So the animals said, hey raccoon, let's start the dance. Let's dance around a little bit more. So they said, okay, we're going to dance. So let's all dance. So they danced around the fire. Around and around the fire. They danced and had so much fun. And they were getting wild. And the raccoon was yelling about how smart. Hey, I'm smart. I'm clever. Hey, you want to hear about this? You want to hear about that? And he did the same thing, talking all about himself. And the other animals said, let's get that raccoon. So as they got closer and closer to the fire, they started dancing faster and faster and faster. And they started stomping all over the raccoon's tail. And the raccoon was saying, ouch, 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 ouch. Get that off my tail, get that off my tail. Get off my tail. And finally, after all the dancing was done, all the animals were off the raccoon's tail. And the raccoon said, my poor tail, it's flat. He's like, oh, I gotta look at it to make sure it's okay. So he unwrapped the ribbon. And when he unwrapped the ribbon, he had stripes from the ribbon shape on his tail. And he said, oh no, my tail. And he said, I can't watch this, I can't see this. And he put his little paws over his eyes and he got some soot, and that's how he got his black mask on his face. And that's why his tail is ringed to this day.
Oh yeah.
So how do you like that tail? Is that a true tail?
No, it's not.
Of the raccoon and opossum with their beautiful tails?
Animals don't talk.
Raccoons love to come out at night, and so do opossums. These are both nighttime animals, which is called nocturnal. And you will see them everywhere. Both of them can climb trees, and both of them will eat garbage and trash. But naturally, they'll eat insects, and raccoons also will eat.
Raccoons?
Yeah, raccoons will eat little mice, and they'll eat little small mammals. And they eat
Uh-oh.
fish.
Mommy, do raccoons eat raccoons?
No.
They eat hot dogs.
Oh.
So now you've heard about the tails, T-A-L-E-S, of the tails, T-A-I-L-S, of the animals. Did you enjoy that?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy your campfire. Enjoy being in your backyard. Enjoy camping. Enjoy hiking. Just enjoy nature.
You know.
Thank you. Goodbye.